Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kenny, for those of you who don't know me, and if you're returning, then welcome. I'm glad to have you back. So the other day on Instagram, someone mentioned, how do you kind of stop being dizzy on spin pole? So I decided to make this video just to give you some tips or things to think about while doing spin pole. And at the end, there's some little conditioning things you can do to help make spin pole more enjoyable and less dizzy. So to start, if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes written down. I like to write things down, plan, everything. Okay, so what is spin pole? Spin pole is basically a continuous movement. The pole is moving and you're moving with the pole. So what does that mean in comparison to static? For static pole, you are using your body to move around the pole as opposed to the pole doing the work for you, if that makes sense, okay? All right, so here we have my pole. I'm going to put it on spin. So usually, this is a fit to flaunt pole. If you're interested in checking them out, check out the link in my description box. This is a silicone pole, but there's also options for chrome pole, so just so you can see. So to put your pole on spin, usually poles have a mechanism at the bottom. So if I just slide this up, as you can see, there's two arrows, right? One here, and there's a hole right there. And then one here, another hole. Okay, as you can see right now, if you try to turn it, it's not turning. So what I'm gonna do is, in a sense, unlock it. So to do that, you need the Allen key, which just looks like this. And you put it in. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. So I'm just gonna go to both sides and unscrew. So for this particular pole, you don't wanna unscrew too much because you don't wanna lose these little screws here, right? And then from there, as you can see, now it's turning. So that's how you put your pole on spin. When you start learning spin pole, first you want to get used to obviously the spinning in different directions, the nausea, the dizziness. In the beginning, it's a little tough, but the more you practice it, the more you do it, it definitely gets better. I definitely suggest taking your time, going slow. Try not to spin for like too long, no more than maybe like 10-15 minutes until you build up tolerance, and then you can spin longer and longer, like during a duration of a class, so you're not too dizzy or too nauseous. Because I remember the first time that I tried spin pole, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this for the whole class. I kept practicing, I kept spinning. That whole day I was super nauseous and I definitely regretted it. But now I could do spin pole just fine. So when you do spin pole, you want to think about controlling the force, momentum, and speed. All right. So once you start going for a move on spin pole, you want to have a plan. So you don't want to just jump on the spin pole and just start spinning with no exit plan. So for me, I like to plan at least 3 to 4 steps ahead. So before I even touch the pole, I'm like, okay, I know if I do this move, it's gonna make me spin really fast or really slow. So if I start spinning fast, okay, that's fine. But now I'm gonna choose another move that's gonna make me spin a little bit slower and then go from there. So I can demonstrate that, or I'll put a video. On spin pole, you definitely wanna think about breathing, okay? Breathing, focusing on your breath. Do not hold your breath, okay? Don't wanna pass out. And you also want to have somewhat of a focal point. For me, I like to look at the pole. So if I'm spinning in I guess a narrow grip or true grip, there's so many different names for those things. By that, I like to look at the pole as opposed to looking around. Because if the pole is spinning and you're spinning with the pole, once you start looking different directions, you're gonna, one, get dizzy. Two, once you look in different directions, your body tends to follow whichever direction you look. So think about that as well as you practice spin pole in the future, of course. So obviously, if you want to spin faster on the spin pole, you definitely can. If you want to, or if you're used to it. Me, I don't like spinning too fast. It honestly scares me, so I like to use a little bit of force. So I'll start like here. I do a little bit of push, get some momentum, and then up. As opposed to woo! That is not the life for me. If this is your first time trying spin pole, I suggest starting with one of the beginner moves you may have learned in your class or online. So for example, maybe a back hook spin. So you fall back, right? Hook your inside knee, and you spin. Ooh, and then step down. And breathe. And of course, you want to try the other side, so let's try the other side. I'm here, pull it back, ooh, and then bring it down, ooh, and stop. So you can also try going forward with that, so with your front knee hook, same thing, hand across, knees up, breathe, and then come down. And just for, good measure, I'll do the other side for you guys. And come down. Know about spin pole is how much force to use. So if you put a lot of force into your spin, you're gonna spin really fast. But if you put a little bit less, you're not gonna spin as fast. So the more you practice, the more you can decide if you're gonna spin super fast or super slow, right? So a good way to gauge this is an opposite. So I'm going to start with a little bit of force, get some momentum, sit, breathe. Now, if I bend my legs, whee, I'm spinning really fast. But if I extend my legs, slow. And then if I come closer to the pole, really, really fast, and then away, slow. So this is a good way to gauge how fast or how slow you're going. Or if you're higher up in the air and you're like, whoa, I'm moving way too fast, extend a body part. Make sure there's a body part attached to the pole, so don't just completely let go of everything. So like in your sit, your legs are crossed, extend your legs, maybe extend one arm, just so it can slow you down. So something else you can practice on spin pole is your pull-up. So to start, your hands are high, chest is on the pole, okay? So what I like to do to get into it, I step with my inside foot, leg closest to the pole, pivot, face the pole, lean my chest, and release my legs. And breathe. And come down. Whew. Little dizzy there, but I'm okay. So also when learning spin pole, make sure you try to practice spinning in both directions, okay? Because there's gonna be times when you're gonna be spinning clockwise, and there's gonna be times when you're spinning counterclockwise, all right? Well, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know as well. And thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.